Hi there, this is Dr. Buddy, and I'm going to provide a little video note here to help you get started with Project 1. So let's start by taking a look at the project description itself. If you haven't read that yet, I encourage you to stop the video and read it because that's what I'm going to start with. All right, so there's a few parts to this. There's a little bit of an overview. We tell you what's deliverable, a little background. We're going to do some wind chill. The first part that we have here is we ask you to calculate wind chill for 3 different situations. And then after that, you are then going to prompt the user to enter a temperature, prompt the user to enter a wind speed, do the calculation, and display it. So notice that. Prompt, do some calculation, display it, which in this case I really mean print it, okay, using the print function. So the key part here, input, calculate, display. And then we're going to give you a formula for the calculation. All right, scroll down a little bit. We do tell you how to do remind you how to do some input, and then we give you a formula for the temperature. And there's things, there's multiplication, there's raising things to a power, and so on. And by the way, I had a typo originally, but that's been fixed on there. So if you haven't got the latest version, or if you looked at it before if you grabbed a copy before September 5th, you don't have the right one. All right, so, and at the bottom, we provide a sample for you. In this case, we don't provide samples for all projects, but the early projects we do. And so, like I noted above, there's 3 ones that we just want you to calculate. Yes, the output is in a lot of there's a lot of digits there. We'll learn later on how to take care of that. And then we ask you to prompt for a temperature, prompt for a wind speed, and then we again do the calculation. So what I'm going to do today to sort of show this process is I'm going to take a different formula. All right. And this formula is for the surface area of a right circular cone. All right, that's this type of a figure. And it's pi times r and so on. And I chose it because it actually has 2 inputs that we need. We need an r and we need an h. And it's got things like square roots in there, it's got exponents, and so on. So let's take a look at how we might solve this particular problem. And what I did is we provide a little program which you can use to start with, and I've downloaded it and opened it here. I'm working in Spider. We can run that program. It says please enter an integer value 2, please enter a floating point value 3.4, and it does some calculations. Now you might have noticed that because I had Variable Explorer highlighted here, and it may not be by default, but you can click on that. Each of these variables in here, value 1 string, value 1 int, and so on, appear over here, what their type is and what their value is. So this Variable Explorer is kind of a handy thing to have because you get to see the values as they are created in there. So in my formula, I need, and one way you can actually solve this problem is to take this running program that we have and modify it. So I need a height and a radius. So I'm going to say, please enter a height. Please enter a radius. And then we have to do some calculations. Well, my calculation is a little bit different. I want to say area equals, I've got pi, so let me include math, import math. So I can have math.pi. Now I have math.pi. And by the way, I can, I'm going to move now down into, from working in the editing, I've now moved over here into the shell to play with some things. And if I import math, what is math.pi? Well, I can just type math.pi and it tells me. Okay, so I don't have to type in 3.1415. It's already part of math.pi. So we have multiplication. And notice, if you haven't, that when I do have multiplication, so pi times r here, there is an implicit multiplication sign in here which isn't there. And so we have to, in programming, we actually have to have that explicitly. Let's actually fix the names here. Let's call that radius, so I can keep these straight. Now I can go and type them like that, or if I'm smart, I can go up here and do search and replace, and I can say, you know what I really want to do is take value 2 and replace it with the word radius. And I can replace and find each one, like so, and I took care of all those. And while I'm at it, let's take value 1 and replace that with height. So every place I had a value 1, I now have height. And in this case, I actually don't, let's make this so I don't have to have ints. Let's make those floats. It's a height float now. Okay, and I can, if I want more room, I can get rid of that. So math pi, now it's a little easier. Is this radius float? Again, times, parentheses, the times was implicit in there. Float plus. Now I need the square root. Now notice there how Python helps me out by telling me what the various math functions that are available. And so I can see sqrt is in there. I could, if I wanted to, just double click on that. And so what do I have in my square root? I have my height float raised to the second power, double star, plus radius float raised to the second power. All right. And notice here that it's a little hard to see in this light, but when I entered that right parentheses, there's actually a slight green color there, and there's the matching parentheses is also highlighted. So I know that that parentheses that I just put in matches up with the nearest parentheses, and we still have another parentheses out here that isn't matched up. Okay. And in fact, I can see that over here on the left. See that little warning sign right there? If I take a look at that by mousing over it, it says invalid syntax. And what's happened here is that many times when you see an error message on a line, it actually, that error is often on a preceding line, and particularly syntax errors, because what's happened is the interpreter has gotten confused, but it really didn't figure out how confused it was until it got down to the next line. So here I know I need another matching parentheses. Now this one is highlighted and that one is highlighted, so now I know that it is matched up. So I have area, and so now I need to output that. Print the area is, and then I will go area. And I don't need this last one for this particular problem. All right, let's give this guy a try here. It says keyword can't be an expression. All right, so syntax error here. Keyword can't be an expression. So we got something here to fix. So I can see my errors over here. Boom, 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 here. All right, so when I ran this, or I tried to run it, it said a keyword can't be an expression. Ooh, oh, that's a tough one to figure out. So, but I can see here that I made a mistake right there, and I accidentally put in an equal sign when I wanted to put in a plus sign. Okay, so we need to fix that. So, that error message wasn't very helpful, but here we go. Fix it up. We'll give this thing another try. And by the way, so the two things that I'm touching here, that's the symbol to save it, and that's the run button. And by the way, I just noticed that I'm still saving this as numberinput.py. That's a bad idea. I need to save this under the proper name, proj01. Now, I can either type py or it will be put in there for me automatically. You got to be a little careful with that. All right, so now it's named properly. And let's see. All right, so please enter the height. Let's put 4, radius of 2, and so up. The numbers are 4 and 2. That's not very helpful. Let's fix that up. Height and radius. That makes a lot more sense. Again, we can save it, hit run. 1 and 1. That's an easier value to check. So what happens when we put a 1 and a 1 in there, that I can at least do a simple check to see whether this makes any sense. So 1 squared is 1 plus 1 squared is 1. That's 2. Square root of 2 plus 1 times wait. Oh yeah. So square root of 2 plus 3.14. That's 5 something or other times another 1 times a. No wait. Square root of 2 is 1.14 plus 1. That's about 2.4 times 1 times pi, and now it says the radius is pi. That doesn't sound right. Let's check this out here. So I go back and look at what my pi was, and it looks like it's saying that everything over on the right has a value of 1, which really doesn't makes sense. And so what did I do? Oh, there was supposed to be a plus sign here, and I have a minus sign. So let's fix up the minus sign. Here we go. We'll run this one again. Height of 1. Notice I'm picking heights, and the easiest, something that I can test pretty easily. There we go. That's much better, because now I have, when I try to check this out, see if it makes some sense. 1 plus 1 is 2. Square root of 2 is about 1.4, plus 1 is about 2.4, times 1 is still 2.4, times 3 point something. And so I'm getting 2 times 3 something, and I'm coming up with 7.5. Back of the envelope tells me that that's pretty close. So I should get out a calculator and check that out, which I would do, but I'm not going to take the time in this video, and then check it with other values. And we expect you to check things out. Oop, I have a typo here. There we go. Not that that matters at all. So there it is. I took a program. Now I saved it. Because you did Lab 0, you know how to hand it in. Now you can hand it in. But there are some other things to be fixed here, like this comment. The comments here at the beginning don't make any sense. I got to fix those up. And so on. But one way you can do this particular project, take that program we gave you, remember to change the name, modify it to solve your particular problem. Obviously you're not finding the surface area of a right circular cone. So good luck. I hope this helps.